Hi everybody, this is Brian David Marshall coming to you from the Tournament Center at Pro Tour San Juan. I'm here with everybody's favorite deck designer, certainly my favorite deck designer right now, Gerry Thompson. And we're just done with the standard leg of day one of the Pro Tour. We're 5 rounds in. Gerry, you're 4-1.
4-1 with Vampires.
Nice job. I mean, he's actually 5-1 now. He's won a round of standard of draft. And you played Vampires. What's... You know, people are talking about Blue White, they're talking about Avenger of Zendikar coming into this tournament, they're talking about
big
Gideon.
Spells.
Why are you playing Vampires?
Well, see, you have all the big spells in your hand, but, sorry, Mind Sludge, you got nothing.
So they spend they're going to explore, they play their thing, and they play their land, and they're ramping, and then...
My turn 5 rolls around, and they don't have a hand anymore,
So this is the card that pushes you in the direction of this deck.
Yeah, definitely. Like, nothing in the format really compares to what Mind Sludge does. There's not a comparable effect out there. It's just, like, by far the most powerful card against, like, a control deck or a semi-combo deck like the mono green decks. So, I mean, I just wanted to build around that, and this is what I got.
Right, and once you're in the direction of saying, I need to have 5 swamps on turn 5,
yeah,
you're not really left with a lot of other alternatives for decks.
Not really. There's a couple different ways to build Vampires. One is, like, kind of all in on the Nantuko Husk, Bloodthrone Vampire.
Sure, Bloodthrone Vampire, Mortician Beetle,
yeah.
Maybe even Pawn of Ulamog, and you get to do some crazy stuff.
Right, but I haven't played a game to prepare for this tournament, so everyone told me it was bad, and I relied on them, which, you know, may or may not be wrong. Usually they're wrong. But,
sure.
So I kind of just picked, like, an old school list, you know, Bloodwitches, Bloodghast, kind of slow stuff. But.
So you've another form of hand disruption here is Mire's Toll. A lot of people have been leaning towards Inquisition of Kozilek. You went with Mire's Toll. What's the difference between the two cards, and what's the difference for you?
Well, Inquisition, like, you get to see their entire hand right away, which is pretty valuable. You get all the information, you get to know what they're up to. But it's a lot better in your matchups that are already good. And against something like Mono Red, you would just side it out anyway, because, like, you don't have a lot of card drawing, the game's really attrition-based, and then if you draw that in the mid-game, it's just dead. So, like, while you're going to side out Toll also, it's just better against the control decks and the combo decks, because, like, you just want to save it until turn 4, turn 5, and then, you know, get a look at the majority of their hand, like, hopefully use it to force through a Mind Sludge or something.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the creatures in the deck. We'll start up here with a card that's become a little bit of a trademark for you.
Possibly my favorite creature, Vampire Hexmage.
Vampire Hexmage. Now, in extended, you know, in the Dark Depths combo deck, you played this as you know, an essential combo piece, right? What's it doing for you here?
Here it's a little different. We're attacking for 2 with this one, but there's also a lot more planeswalkers roaming around in this format than in extended. So I mean, against something like Blue White Control, I won't even cast it on turn 2 because I don't want them to journey it. I want to use it to kill their Jace, you know. So
it's almost a spell in that matchup.
Basically, I mean, if I have 2 or if I have like a Grim Discovery or something, like maybe you run it out there so you can start pressuring them a little bit, but it's like way more valuable just in your hand.
Right. And against Blue White, it's more than just Jace and Gideon, right? You can actually disrupt their mana a little bit if they tap 4 mana into an Everflowing Chalice.
Right. Yeah. If you want to like double Stone Rain them with that, that works too, and it kind of complements the Tectonic Edge as well.
So moving down the creature, like Bloodghast is a staple card in this deck.
It is. I'm not sold on it. Like it's good against Blue White, but I mean they still have like Journey and Wall and stuff like that, so it's okay. And it just gets sided out against almost everything else.
He really shines in the Bloodthrone Vampire version.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Gatekeeper of Malakir. This is a guy who and if you look at the list online, it's just formats. 4, right? And you're another guy you played in extended.
Yep.
So tell me about this card.
I mean, there's no reason not to play 4 of it. You know, I mean, it's between like all your little removal and like trading and stuff, like this is almost always going to hit something big, hit something relevant. Like there are some decks that are token decks or whatever, but even just killing like their Eldrazi spawn token is very good. It's like almost a Stone Rain. So
right. We come to a little bit of a 2 of here. Kalastria Highborn. Why only 2 Kalastria Highborn?
The card's kind of sketchy. I wasn't really sold on it. Pat Cox told me to play 3, and I had 3 for a little bit. My deck is 61 cards. Not
61 cards.
Not for any real reason. I just didn't expect to do well in the tournament, so I'm like, screw it.
Is that under the heading of kids don't try this at home?
Definitely. Please play 60. But then I was looking through a stack of cards and I found a Sorin Markov. I'm like, that's going in the deck.
So he's number 61?
He's number 61, I guess. We cut a Highborn to, yeah.
So talk about Abyssal Persecutor.
Not
a vampire?
Not a vampire, but that's not that relevant. You know, you just have Bloodwitch for the tribal thing. But I talked to Kyle Bogmus last night, who was also going to play Vampires, but I didn't like his list. It was kind of stinky. But one thing I did incorporate was the Abyssal Persecutors and the Consuming Vapors, so that you have enough sack outlets to get rid of this guy once you actually kill them.
So how many ways? It doesn't look like you have a ton of ways to kill your own Abyssal Persecutor here.
I have 7 straight up between the Vapors and the Gatekeepers, but I can Grim Discovery the Gatekeeper, or I could potentially Mind Slaver them with Sorin and then make them kill it.
Has that actually happened?
Not yet. But I've only played 5 rounds, so I mean, come on. It'll happen eventually. We'll get there.
Malakir Bloodwitch?
Awesome.
Just a great card.
Especially now that there's like Gideon. I mean, that card is just sick. It's always good. Air Elemental is just like not a good card, but for some reason, hey, black, pro white, drains them for a little bit, gains a little life back against mono red.
Tell me a little bit about your removal package. We have 2 Disfigures, 1 Smother, 3 Consuming Vapors.
Like Sorin's kind of a removal spell, have some Gatekeepers. Like you just want to draw a mix. You don't want to draw, 2 or 3 Disfigures in any one matchup. You'd rather just draw like a Smother and a Disfigure so that you can kill their Goblin Guide and then like their Dragon Lord or their GOP'd,
And how do you make those decisions over which one to run?
I just kind of go with the flow, like whatever feels right. Like I started with 3 Disfigures, but then I was drawing like too many of them, and then they would have a big guy, and it's just like, like you need Disfigure because it like fills out your curve. Like you have a bunch of 2-drops.
Right.
So if you can go like 2-drop and then 2-drop Disfigure your guy, you're pretty far ahead.
Okay. And then talk a little bit about the sideboard. Vampire Nighthawk's a card I see in a lot of main decks.
Yeah, I mean, people think that Nighthawk is a staple, but I don't think it's that good. Like it's just a really slow clock. It's not very effective against the red decks. I mean, like that's what it's there for,
right.
And I'll definitely bring it in against them. But like, like gaining 2 life a turn, and you have to attack with it, so it's like you don't get to block. And I mean, it's like probably the best option available, but it's not good against everyone. I definitely wouldn't play it, man.
What about Marsh Casualties? What's that for?
That was just kind of hedging against stuff like Boros.
Okay.
I mean, I was trying to debate whether additional spot removal would be good or just that, and it's like, maybe we'll just blow them out with this. So, played against Boros and lost, actually. So.
That's your 1 loss?
That's my 1 loss.
Hideous End?
Hideous End is for the bigger creatures, just like Sphinx of Lost Truth, Avenger of Zendikar, just like all the random fatties roaming around. And Mire Angel is another problem card, which is like basically why I lost to Boros.
Right.
So maybe I would have another one of those if I was to play the deck. But.
And then it's just, these are like sort of adjusting the dials on cards that are already in the deck?
Yeah, those are all additional cards that I have in the main, but like I don't want to play 4 Mind Sludge main, I don't want to play 4 Mire's Tools, I just want to draw like 1 of each, but in certain matchups, like you want to draw as many as possible, so just jam them back in.
So tell me, how does this deck translate to Standard, and is Vampires a deck that is viable for Standard, and maybe not even as it is right now, but as we approach a rotation?
Vampires has had some Standard success, like Jund was always like the supposed bad matchup, but I mean, like, Mind Sludge is just really good against them.
Right.
As long as they don't put you under a lot of pressure, you can just sludge their hand away. Like, you have free reign to do whatever you want. So, there hasn't been a whole lot in the last 2 sets for Vampires. It's basically, the same, like, 40-ish cards since Zendikar came out. So, like, that kind of sucks. If the deck got, like, some more tools, maybe in M11 or something,
sure.
like, then it'd probably be pretty good.
How do you like Consuming Vapors versus, say, Tendrils, which is in the Standard version?
I'd probably rather have Tendrils. Vapors is kind of tricky to set up against the aggro decks because, like, you're playing creatures too, so there's like some trading going on, and like if they make this attack with like their 1 guy and they expect you to chump or trade and you don't, they kind of know something's up. So I mean, like, then they can just like play a crappy guy instead of like using their mana to play their 4-drop or something, and then you Vapors them once, and then they just play like another crappy guy and get to keep their guy that was in play, and by then you've taken like 8 damage from a GOP or something,
Sure.
So, but it has been pretty good, and it's good against blue-white. You just like kill 2 walls, or like it's another way to kill this. So.
Okay. All right, great. Well, there you have it. That's Gerry Thompson's take on Vampires for Block Constructed. Something you might want to think about for Standard. In the meantime, you got some draft matches to get back to playing. Signing off for Gerry Thompson, this is Brian David Marshall from the Tournament Center.